In today's video, we're going to look at how do you take control of your retirement money back from the likes of Fidelity and Schwab. Welcome back to our channel. This is Elisa Zhang. In today's video, we're going to look at ways that you can get your retirement fund work harder for you so you don't have to. First, you can always take out the loan out of your 401k account, even if you're with the employers right now. Most 401k plan out there allows owner of the retirement fund to borrow $50,000 or half of your fair market value of your retirement fund, whichever is less, as a loan to yourself. Now, the gotcha over there is that you do have to pay the interest back at a fair market rate. And also, you have to typically pay it back within 5 years or less, unless if you're borrowing it to purchase a primary home, which could be a little bit longer than that. Second is really the most scenarios that will work for people. This is when you're leaving your current employer. Now, between lines, you can leave your current employer and maybe you'll come back and work for them later. Who knows? When you leave your current employer, here's where it gets really fun. You can roll over to some self-directed vehicles, namely self-directed IRA. Let's talk about self-directed IRA for a minute. The qualification is that everyone can have it. It is available both for traditional IRA and Roth IRA. So you can have a self-directed traditional IRA, normally known as self-directed IRA, or a self-directed Roth IRA. Both vehicle works. So when you leave your current employer, you have the option. In the mainstream media, they always talk about roll over to your IRA account. Now, self-directed IRA is a special vehicle, which you need to seek out special expert on. So typically, you need to find a self-directed IRA custodian company who is going to make sure that your investment is compliant, you stay within IRS rules, and then oftentimes they will manage the money, transact the money for you to make sure that you stay compliant. They will also properly manage your required tax forms, valuation every year, the fair market value evaluation every year. And as such a result, you have to pay a fee. Sometimes per transaction, there's a fee related. Also, when you open the self-directed IRA, there's a fee involved. There's also usually an annual fee as well. The pros of self-directed IRA is that anyone can qualify. Once you leave your current employer, this is a great alternative in comparison to your regular IRA account, because this type of vehicle allows you to now expand and diversify your investment into all the alternative investment we discussed before. Second part great about it is the fact that you have a custodian. It's a person that can give you legal advices and make sure everything is done properly. The shortfall of these type of investment, one is there is associated fee. Second is that when you're interested using this type of fund to invest in, for example, syndicated apartment deals, then the process is a little slower because you actually have to fill the form. Your custodian sometimes has to fill the form, and then you have to call them to approve for funding and all that sort of stuff. And sometimes that funding is really slow, could make you miss your opportunities. And annual contribution is very low, is another shortfall of self-directed IRA, only at about $6,000 to $7,000. Lastly, the most important distinguish between that and the solo 401k is this tax called a UDFI tax, also sometimes people call it UBIT tax, which is this capital gain tax that people put on based on the amount of leverage that you had on the project. So for example, if apartment building was leveraged at 70% LTV, which means you're only putting 30% down, that 70% is subject to taken into calculation for the UDFI taxes. And that could potentially be substantial if your investment made a lot of good money. But there are some ways to kind of convert that into solo 401k to potentially avoid that downfall. Hopefully you learned something today in this video and be able to find different ways to diversify your investment using your retirement account. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what we do, if you like this video, please like us, subscribe to our channel, and share this with your friends and family.